Hi guys, it is Toks here from Watered Seed. Welcome to Watered Seed Talks. Now I have got a guest with me today, my partner, and his name is...
Toks. Toks 1.
Don't answer him. So today in this chill out session we're going to be talking about what we thought parenting was going to be like and what it actually is. So join us. Let's dive in. Okay guys, so this is how this conversation is going to go with our guest. So we're going to talk about what I thought parenting was going to be like and what it actually is. So I hope there's an order how we go, but I'm not sure how we'll go. But anyway, I'll start in regards to what I thought parenting was. So for me, I really thought parenting was going to be really fluffy. You know, all I kind of think about was just how I was going to be a perfect mum. I was going to raise perfect kids. You know, no misbehaving. They would just listen and they would do everything accordingly. That was my fluffy.
So did you get what you...
No, absolutely.
So
nobody gets that.
Oh, right,
I think because nobody tells you. I think you think about having a baby and you think about the photo shoots and the baby pictures and all of that fluffy stuff when they come
about
in.
the endless tantrums.
Absolutely. So no one talks about the tantrums. No one talks about...
Well, people, yeah, power struggles.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, power struggle with the child and you.
I think at the early stages
they don't have... Right, okay. As I get older, like...
So for
9,
us,
10, 11,
older,
my goodness,
but I think
the power struggle.
Yeah, in the short-sighted, you know, just looking at me having a baby and being a parent, in my mind, I just did not think that anything other than the fact that I was going to have perfect, well-behaved kids. But then when you don't have... Of
course, for the records, my children are well-behaved kids.
So, but, you know, when they then, you know, when they're not well-behaved and they're just not going the way things should go, and then you just have to think of parenting is such a headache. But really, again, his expectation is what we expect.
It is expectation.
What was your first... Don't copy my words. What was your first reaction in regards to parenting? What you think it was? Your first assumption?
I think for me, parenting, I thought, oh yeah, I know what to do. I've got this.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. I felt that way as well.
You can pick holes in every other person's parenting.
Yes, but when it comes to...
Yeah. And you think, yeah, I'm going to be better at that, better at that. But really, when you get your children, you just don't get to pick what child you get.
Yeah, so what God's given you. You work with what you've
and my children are all lovely kids, and I couldn't have asked for any different children.
Who's looking after the children? How does he know they're lovely children? I'm joking, sorry. Okay, go on.
Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah. To me, I would say, children come in different dimensions. Yeah. Some are here to test you, test your patience, test you as an individual. Some are more compliant, not all the time. And
so you almost don't think that as a parent you would even get like different types of children. You think that everybody would kind of just act the same way.
No. And then when you put them into the mix, the compliant child, the non-compliant child, the troublesome, the more, all the dynamics into one,
and then that's the things that they don't
that's
tell
what you've got to try and
picture with
parent.
Yourself, yeah.
So absolutely. You're not parenting individual child now. You are
parenting all
however many children you have, and
absolutely.
That is
not something that
because you can't always take a child out of that equation. So I'm going to parent you differently because you need different. They all have different needs. Don't get me wrong, and you've got to work to that need. But there's also dynamics that.
So you've jumped already. You've gone to what parenting is. So, what is parenting? What is parenting for you? Like what you are living now.
What I'm living now
that you didn't know about.
Well, I think we should do a different video. Before COVID-19 and post COVID, we're still in COVID-19. So I said parenting before COVID-19 and now. My thing was, we thought we had parenting down to a T, right?
Absolutely.
Before COVID.
Before COVID, but because, with COVID, you realise that this is just a new equilibrium. Like it's just, it is a different.
You're in the same space.
All the time.
You're working from home, whether it's another room or the study or the snug or wherever in the house you're at. you're still in the same space. Nobody can go anywhere. So you can't say, right, go
challenging.
It's challenging.
Because we want to keep the video to about 10 minutes. So we just...
Right, okay. So, so for me, I would say...
Before pre-COVID and after post-COVID, it's just really challenging.
It is a challenge in a different way. And the challenge, what I mean by challenging was the dynamics. So they see you...
That's not the word challenging because it's not a nice word. So the dynamics...
The dynamics of you having to... You see each other every day.
Yeah, I know.
They haven't got activities that you need to run them to. No. They've not got football, swimming, whatever else that your children do.
You're spending a lot of time
together in the same space.
Okay.
Even when you go on holiday, you have never been that... we go on holiday 2 weeks. Yeah, you're back to your life.
Okay.
The children are back to their life. But suddenly now, we've been cooked in the same, as I say, COVID bubble, family bubble. For what, 4 months, 5 months?
Yeah.
Gosh,
months. So another thing that I wanted to say was, aside the COVID, was that the parents was, you hear about parents giving sacrifice and time, and we have an idea in regards to what that is, but the is of it is the fact that the time and the sacrifice that we give as parents, it is completely immeasurable. It is, it is, we have to give so much in, and that was what I think shook me, because at first, because I thought that people who say that, if you're not sure, your kids might impact on your marriage, and you're like, no, what are they talking about? It doesn't impact. Do you think that parenting impacts on marriage?
Children can wreck your marriage.
Oh my goodness, that is so harsh.
Right, okay. They can, and not because they're set out as evil children, but because you focus too much on your children.
Yeah.
Whether it's their outcome in life, whether it's their behaviour, whether it's what food they're going to eat, you focus too much on them, my goodness, they can wreck your marriage, because you suddenly forget.
You seem like a bitter dad.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that.
I know. I think I see your point, because like everything in life, you have to work hard.
Yeah.
And you can easily think that you can let your kids take the place of your partner in regards to time. So you need to kind of prioritize and make sure that one doesn't fall short. It's a hard job for each partner, because for a man, they have to do the same thing, make sure their wife is the center of it, and then the children. And for a wife, you need to make sure that your husband is the center of it, including the children. So I think as a parent, no one really tells you.
Seeking family fulfillment, I think, is what I will term it.
Okay.
The fulfillment as a family, the children's side of it, as a parent, but also as the two people that came together to create these.
So what you're saying, I think you're 2 points there. So you're saying that we should see children as the fruits of a marriage, and this is what came out of these two love.
Yeah.
And so we shouldn't.
And don't lose focus on that because of the fear of, will my children turn out okay? What would other parent think of my parenting? Am I a good parent? Am I a bad parent? Nobody's a good or bad parent. We're just on this journey to learn.
No, there are some bad parents.
No, in what context? There is no such. You can't tell somebody how to parent their child, because every child has their own uniqueness.
But Toks, there are parents who have neglected their children. So this is what I'm saying, that parenting styles can be different, and we're not equal.
We're saying the same thing.
But when you say good or bad parent, there are some bad parents out there.
So probably that's a different.
That's a different agenda completely.
Yeah.
So I think the other thing that you think was and is that I didn't realize that parenting was intentional. For every outcome that you want in your children, you have to be intentional in regards to what you put into them. So I didn't really think about that before. If you want them to be good at something, then you need to almost like work hard. You're doing it yourself.
What if you don't have a talent for it?
Then I think I don't know if you watch one of my videos on golden child syndrome.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Which is the fact that if you, as a parent, we're there to spot if our child have talents for something, and if you see that they don't.
So I'm just sort of taking you back to what you were saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying that you start with them in regards to what you think they like, and then at some point you should be able to tell that they're really into this or they're really not into that. So I'm just talking about just in anything.
So you're guiding them.
You're guiding them intentionally, hoping that when they get to a point, they can then choose and decipher for themselves to say, this is the path that I want to take. Right? So intentional. Was parenting intentional for you? everything that
It
you
was
do.
intentional. We planned that we're going to have a baby.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Right. So
Seriously, guys. Okay.
no, parenting, of course, for me.
Was it intentional?
No, I think the mindfulness part
Yes.
comes into play
Parenting,
later as I got
needs
old.
to be
Yeah.
mindful. That you need to be a mindful parent.
Yeah. So I think
Yes.
that was something I learned on the job.
Yes, true.
So
because you would tell them to do stuff like I would tell my kids that, you know, normally when you wake up in the morning, you make sure your bed's laid. And so when I'm telling them in the morning, oh guys, have you know, is your bed laid? I have to kind of peek in my room to say, did I actually lay
Did
my
you do
bed?
the
So
same?
I'm realizing that
so you're not
you can't just
not a dictatorship.
it's not do as I say. It's almost like do as I do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
and I
do-
think this is what parenting doesn't
Yeah.
tell you, that to change some of the bad habits that you
That
see
you
in
do
your
have,
children,
so-
that you see in your children, you have to
as a
change.
reflection of you.
Absolutely. So I have
Ooh.
to change for who?
No, I'm just saying. So if you see a child that's not up to par, is that a reflection of the parent?
Not in everything.
Some
but I think-
children
but
are
I
just
think-
born.
No, not in everything. Like for example, is like, you know, having a drink while watching a movie and then forgetting about the cup just right there on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
And then something happens and then it breaks. But somehow when my kids do it, I'm like, that's not right. You shouldn't do that. You should just
Yeah.
have your drink and put it back in the kitchen. But then when you do it, so for me to actually tell them off, I have to stop doing it.
Yeah,
So it's just little things like that I realize that you don't really think about as being a parent. The fact that you
Yeah.
have to change some bad habits
So
that
you're
you have.
being a guide, walking the walk.
Yes, true.
Yeah, like you said, do as I
say.
do.
No, do as I say.
Do as I do.
Okay, do it.
Do as I say is dictatorship. Like, well, you do that, right?
That's what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say
But
is that we
I'm
tell
not living
them,
the life.
Exactly. This
So
is what
I'm not.
saying.
So like sometimes you want to stay up late, and then your children are like, why are we going to bed early? So you start to negotiate and go, hang on a second, guys.
I'm the grown up here.
I'm the grown up, you're the child, right? It doesn't always work. We're trying to raise children to not just be subservient,
Yeah.
but there's also children not to be rude,
Yes.
be respectful.
Boundaries.
That boundary.
Is
So
hard.
so you're
one.
getting them to practice the act of negotiation, even when you know that the power is not.
Respectfully. That
Yeah,
is,
respectfully.
Yeah.
And if they manage to put a good case and forward, then they will probably have their way. Maybe not as long as they shoot, another 20 minutes before bedtime. So they could win that argument. But to me, it's the score of life, and those are the things it's not textbooky for me. And I'm moving away from that. I think putting my hand up also when I get it wrong.
Apologise.
Oh gosh, that's hard when you've got to go to your son or your daughter to apologise more than once in a week. Oh my gosh.
You've got it wrong, really.
Yeah,
so
so you-
absolutely. So again, yeah, I think it's owning up to to what you've done wrong and what you haven't, and no one really tells you that. Again, I think
No.
also because when you grow up,
I'm not sure that I got that. So this is no reflection on mum and dad, but to come and say,
Care so much.
"Oh, I'm so sorry.
I know.
I got it wrong." No, I don't. Yeah.
But I think a lot of it has to do with upbringing as well, because
Yeah.
I think from a predominant, growing up in a predominant African country, growing up in Lagos, I don't know if you really see parents really apologising. Well, I don't live with them, so I could be completely wrong, but I don't just see that was a culture.
It wasn't a
If
culture.
you did something, or if your parent was to do something, well, they'll buy you a biscuit and like, okay, yeah, that's my sorry.
I'll put something out. If your parent were like that, not after you become much older, under 16, and your parent actually African, Nigerian family, put a comment. Let us know. I'll be quite shocked.
Anyways,
there'll be one in a million.
It's now about 14 minutes.
14 minutes, right? Okay,
guys,
right.
I hope we've made sense. Because
What's
I
the
felt
take?
like we were
What's the
grounded.
takeaway?
Is that parenting? There's no perfect parenting. Number one,
Focus on
your marriage, your children, based on priority.
so one not over the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Balance.
Absolutely. Parenting is intentional. They don't tell us that for everything that you want your kids to turn out to be. it has to be intentional. You have to input in and then get the output. If
Calm.
that makes sense.
I'd say calm parenting. That goes to me.
Calm, yeah.
Stop yelling.
It's the yelling parent, and he's realised it doesn't work.
Yeah,
so,
the yelling doesn't work because otherwise I'll have
he sees that
very compliant children.
I get a lot of things done just by speaking quietly, calmly, and then he just wonders.
Is that when I have to step in and say, "Oh, are you going to do that? Your mum said do this."
That's not true. Anyway.
Get it done now.
Anyway, so
walk the walk, mindfulness.
Mindfulness and
be mindful with them. I'd probably.
Parenting is hard work. It's hard work, guys. It's loving hard work. It is out of love, but it's hard work because, you know, we have been blessed with a gift. We've been blessed with
gift indeed.
a gift that we cannot, you know, how with science and all of it, how long does it take to actually, do we understand what it takes to make a child, you know, the reality of it and all of the different things that come in. So I think the take from it is that this gift that we've been given, let's do everything that we can, you know, to bring them up to be, you know, the best to our abilities and
the best of what you can.
Of what we can. What we can, absolutely. We need to start the work because a child doesn't become what has not been input into them. So it's hard, I get it. You know, there's no perfection, but we need to try. We need to try to get there for ourselves and for our children. So thank you, guest Toks. Did you feel like it was taking a while? I don't know, but anyway, this is our chill out
I'll
section.
be back.
You're not annoyed.
Fully paid.
Anyway, okay. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.